Hey guys, what's going on? It's Sport the Aussie here with a brand new Motorsport Manager video. It is the McLaren Challenge, race number 2, following from race number 1. A successful race number 1 where we came 8th and 10th, scoring some very vital championship points for our team. Currently coming 5th in the overall Constructors Championship with just 5 measly points. 35 points behind Red Bull Racing, and of course Alonso 21 points behind our championship leader Daniil Ricciardo after only 1 round. And remember guys, our game giveaway is actually going to be in round number 5. If you are liking the series so far, please give this video a thumbs up and let me know in the comment section below what you think about the series so far. You're liking the fact that we're using the F1 skins and the F1 drivers as a bit more of an appeal to you guys as the audience. In our mail, we have an interview with Marco Canseco from Massa. We're going to accept that interview. That was your first full race weekend in charge of a Formula 1 championship team. How do you feel? I feel great. It was a wonderful weekend. There's no need to read the other questions there. Jenson Button struggled, finishing down in 10th. What are we going to say? There's nothing to worry about. I'm sure that Jenson will bounce back soon. Let's have a look. Yep, and that brings up his morale straight away. So that's kind of like the nose brown, the brown nose answers you have to give with those type of questions in order to, like, you know, please everyone. But I'm 110% thinking that way anyway. We're just going to get better as our car does as well. And of course, we have to keep prioritizing our engine build. That's because of the way our car's built. Going back at it, we're 10th on the grid in terms of car power, and that's our ability to overtake other cars in straights and just really put the power down. Made a couple of more offers for race mechanic positions, and hopefully someone can score up, because we definitely need to replace Andrea Stella. Tom Stollard's okay. There is another offer that's come through. Ooh, contract has been accepted. Who is this? Hello. Bradley Joyce, what is your stats? Reliability 18, performance 16, chemistry 16, part fixes 18, concentration is 12, which is going to be, you know, your ability to make mistakes or not make mistakes during pit stops. Pit stops are 18, which is actually really, really strong. And we're definitely going to sign him up. He has super overtake mode, and we're actually going to steal him from Nico Hulkenberg, which is going to be good for us, because if we are pushing down another team in order to sign him up, that means they're going to struggle. So I'm definitely going to sign him up. Stella, sorry champ, you're actually going to get the boot, and it's going to cost us 1.7 mil, and that's why we're saving up our dough for big changes like that. So Bradley Joyce joins the team. Which driver am I going to give him to? That is another question to answer. Who's he with? It's going to be with Alonso. Chemistry with Fernando Alonso. That's okay. We'll stick him in there because he's going to have the super overtake after like 30 weeks after unlocking that ability, which is going to be really helpful during our qualifying sessions to have that mode. The other thing that we can look at is part fixes, because we can fix who's working on what. And look at that. It goes up by 0.8 from 0.6 by putting Bradley Joyce on the performance. So it's going to help out greatly with that. It's currently Stoffel's birthday, which means Stoffel Van Dorn. Do we want to pay him $100,000 and get a 10% or 10 plus morale boost? Or will the car do and he will lose 10 morale? Because he's our third reserve driver, I don't really care. So if we lose any money, not that big of a deal. So we're just going to have to solve it like that. Accepted offers, shall we sign the deal? And that is Vettel. What is Vettel's stats? He's got 3.5. And has the potential to go all the way to 4. But look at the stats. He has the stats where we need them. He's got performance, chemistry, reliability, concentration, part fixes, and pit stops. But performance is what we want. Reliability is down to 6. I don't really care about that because the other guy, our other mechanic, has like 19 in that area. He has super overtake mode as well. And he's going to be cheap, 62,000 per race. I think we're going to sign him up on the spot. And that way we don't have to worry about signing anyone else up for the rest of the season. Tory. And the guy we want to get rid of is, of course, Stallard. So a bit of an improvement there. It is a bit costly as well for us to do that. Simone Fattori, it's a 1+ as the chief mechanic impact. If we put him down to reliability, it's only 0.3. So that way we're stacking the correct stats. And that's going to be a really good impact. He's going to be able to assist Jenson Button with his championship. The fact that he is super over. Of course, we want to build another engine. And because of Ross Brawn's unlock or his designer components, we can actually build another great component engine for the top speed of plus 40. -10 in the reliability during the race, and that's fine because we can get away with that. What else do we want to have a look at? Top speed +20, reliability -20, and that's fine because we'll just have to repair that one, and we're going to do +25 to max. So that's going to be another engine. That's going to be quite costly, 1.6 mil. That's going to bring us down to about $3.5 million. Well, it doesn't boost us at all. We're still 10th. Even with those additional components boosted, that's not going to level up the gap. That just goes to show how much sucky those engines were in those cars and how much they needed assistance. What do we have? How are we going to sign up our sponsors? 10th or above. That's, of course, what we're going to do. We're going to do super softs, and we're also going to stack mediums with 6. So that should be what we need to do in order to get the most out of our cars. In terms of fitting our parts, we always want to stack Fernando Alonso's. I feel like he's just the better driver, just a little bit, not too much. And how are we stacking? Yes, yes, yes. That all looks good. Let's go along into Suzuka. Alright guys, we are back after a very successful practice session. I got both cars into the window in regards to the knowledge traits game from practice, and that is of course intermediate tyres, super soft tyres, qualifying trim and race trim, all level 3s. Now this time we're not going to make the mistake of sending out anyone else on used rubber. We've tested that and found that it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. One of our viewers had stated that I should go out and send the driver out on slightly used rubber. It will wear and tear the car in a little bit more, therefore they'll go faster, and it just isn't the case. So if you're out there and you're looking at how do I qualify faster, always use more fresher rubber. Just trying to get Alonso's car into that window. He's just about to start. Tyre temps are going to be perfect. Overheated for brakes, that's fine. And as for our good friend Button, is he going to be able to speed up in time? I don't think he will be able to. He might just clip it in. Nope, he gets perfect for tyre temp. He is going to be behind, who is that, Massa or Bottas? It's going to be neither. Is it going to be Hamilton or Rosberg? It's going to be Rosberg. So he's not going to be able to hold us up anyway, but Rosberg fights over the line with so many other cars coming out at the moment as well. And this is just going to be a bit of a gimme for Button to get through that traffic. But I think Alonso wasn't that badly affected. He's down at the first sector by 1.4, and that's over Hamilton. That's not too bad considering Hamilton is our target in this series, and it's really important that we get a good qualifying timeout at the start of this session in case it rains. As you can see, most of the track is free except for this little part where everyone is at the moment. So Button's time is dramatically going to be affected by that. And look at the moment, he's currently being pushed along in a little bit of a train, so it might be worth just bringing him in. He's down by 3 seconds already, so I'm going to bring him in straight off the bat. There's no point in him going around doing one more lap. Let's get him in, let's get him out there to do another time and try and set a much faster time, because that time of about 5 to 6 seconds slower is not going to be competitive at all. So he's come in, we're going to get him in, do a tyre choice for super soft, send him out straight away, get out there, do a quick lap if you can, while everyone else is starting to come into the pits. So Alonso now coming in, Button now doing his out lap. Most of the guys should now just be finishing their fast lap, so they're not going to actually get in the way of Jenson, Button at all. As you can see, it's a lot of clear track. Look at everyone, they're completely stacked. That is a really stacked out track out there at the moment. Just want to take our time, make sure we get the timing right, get Button up to grips, up to speed, get those tyre temps up, get them roaring a little bit. A lot of track time in front of us, and might slow it down when we come closer around here. We don't want to rush around because they're going to have cars that are going to be doing their in-laps, and we just don't want to catch them. And we just want to monitor this tyre temp, make sure we get that in the exact window where it needs to be. Are we going to be able to do it? Of course we can. What are you guys talking about? Have some faith. There we go. Get the tyre temps up, get them into the perfect condition. Perfect. Just overheated for brake temps. Not going to be a bad start. And here we go. This is going to be our lap out. Grosjean just comes out of the pits. So does Kvyat. Is Kvyat going to affect our lap? No, he just completely comes out but doesn't actually stop our lap. At the moment, it's just him all out by himself, but we're going to send out Alonso as well right now. But Button, he's our man of focus. Is he going to get held up by Grosjean? I hope not. I hope not. Just get off the racing line, Grosjean. Don't stop us. Don't stop us. I think that might have hilted him a little bit because he seems to be off the racing line. Yeah. He's 1.7 seconds down, and that was just one car. Otherwise, he had free track all the way around. Inconveniently, one car comes out. It's kind of blown our lap. Let's just watch and see how he goes for the rest of it to see if he might be able to make something of it. It's only 1.7 seconds down. I might get him to keep going around 2.9. It's going to be an okay time. We'll get him to finish it, but he's definitely going to be able to do better. It's just about getting that clean air, that much sought out clean air. And how's Alonso going? We want him to start to slow down. Who the hell is that in front of him? That's someone else around in front. Button says that was pretty lame. He goes into 10th position, not as fast as he wanted to go. He doesn't like the fact where he was sent out. And we're going to start slowing down Alonso. Get that tyre temp down as much as you possibly can just before you start, as well as the brake temp. Now speed up. Tyre temp is perfect, starting off his lap. Button is now doing his in-lap. And Alonso's now just kicking off. Is anyone going to come out of the pits? The answer to that is no. So this is going to be a flying time, provided that not many people get in our way, and hopefully they start to speed up. That's going to be Massa specifically, because he's just doing his outlap. How's Alonso going to be at the first sector? Is he going to be up? Is he going to be down? He's going to be, and he's second now, crossing 1.3 seconds down, and that would put him into the top 5 at least. As you know, because he's 1.3 seconds behind the second sector, he'd probably be about 2 seconds behind, or 2.6 seconds, as the gap would grow at that speed. And he's starting to catch the guys up ahead. He shouldn't get to them just yet. We might send Button out just now, send him out in the super soft tyres. Alonso now coming up behind. There's traffic. Should they start going around a lot faster? Hopefully. Yes, no, they're not going to get picked up on this lap. He's down by 2.1 seconds, and that is going to be an improvement, I believe, from his last time. No, he doesn't go any faster. His last lap was 0.1 seconds slower, so he's still in 6th position. Not a bad spot to be in, but not a great spot to be in because he's 3 seconds slower. And here goes Button for his outlap. He's going to have a lot of traffic around him, because if that's Massa doing his fast lap, he'll be doing his in-lap when we go back in. So let's just slow Button down. Let's just slow him down. Let's give him a lot of room here. If he could let Alonso through, that would be perfect. No, Alonso's just going to get held up. Let's have a look at the rest of the track. Sainz, Gutierrez, Palmer, Massa. So we're just going to completely null that down. If I start to shift those around, will that give Alonso a bit of a window to go through? Nope, it's going to slow him down all the way around the rest of the track. And now we want to start speeding him up. I know he's going to start with cold temps. I don't care about that. The fact that he's not going to get blocked by anyone in front of him, more particularly Massa, that's way more important. But he might be able to get the temps up. Okay, he's got the brake temps up to good. Tire temps just a little bit cold. As long as no one's going to come out any second now, and he's going to start his flying lap. So this is going to be good for him. This is going to be a much bigger improvement from his last time. So far, we're in the top 10 for Alonso, which is great. We're going to send Alonso out now, get him to go out in another set of fresh tyres. Boom, there you go. And let's focus on our main man Button at the moment, who's kicking off with no one in front of him. A lot of clear track to be had here. Is he going to be up at his first sector? No, he's down by 1.8 seconds. That's actually slower than the first time he went around. So it might not be a faster lap at this stage, but it's going to be and when he gets to the second sector, he might be a little bit faster. He might do a personal best there. Track grip is climbing as we speak, so it should only keep getting better and better. He's down by 2.9 seconds now. So it's actually looking to be a lot more difficult than we thought in order to get a clean lap. And Alonso is out on the track by himself. There's a couple of cars starting to come in now. So we're going to get Alonso to speed along. There goes Button. God damn it, he wasn't happy with that time at all. He's unsatisfied. And let's get this car into the window. At least for tyre temps, start to slow up, speed down. Tyre temps are going to be perfect. Yes, they are. As long as no one comes out any second now. Alonso's going to be a lone wolf out there and have a whole track to himself to be able to improve his last time. We might just jump that time up a little bit, speed up this lap, see if he's able to make anything of it. And he might eat 1.3 seconds down. It's not his personal first best sector, but it's definitely up there. It's not a bad time at all. He's only chasing Hamilton's time, remember. That's in comparison to Hamilton's time. So it's actually not that bad. And how are we going to be at the second sector? It's really interesting to see that no other car is out at the moment. We might get Button to do one more lap. Here comes the rest of the crew. They're starting to come out now, so we might give a little bit of a gap. 2.1 seconds. He's down now. Alonso, personal best at that second sector, and that's going to be a little bit of an improvement if he can just hold that in that last sector. Does he do it? 3.3. No, he goes slower again. Despite the fact that the track group is up, now's Button's setup going. He's gone backwards, so we're going to go back to this original setup he was using a couple of sessions ago. We're going to send him out onto a new pair of soft tyres. Everyone is rolling out. Look at that. The whole army is coming out. And will Alonso get around for another lap? No, he won't at this stage. So we are hopefully holding on to 6th position here. A comfortable 6th position. And we've only got the really fast cars in front of us. Räikkönen struggling down in that 8th spot. Surely he'll be able to improve his time. But we want to focus on our main man Button at the moment. We want to focus on getting him out there. He's got a lot of space in front of him. And right now, this is all Button's time to shine, I guess. Let's get him up there, get the tyre temps up, and then squeeze them down in order to bring the brake temperature down as well. Because the brake temperatures move a lot faster than the tyre temperatures do in regards to kind of like the volatile movement. So let's start slowing him down now. Get those brake temps down. Possibly not going to happen given that we just braked. Nah, let's just play it safe and get those tyre temps right. Perfect tyre temps. Button is going to start his lap on a flyer. No one's going to be in front of him. He has 10 seconds to cross the line, 8 seconds, 5 seconds, 4. He just crossed the line just in time in order to start his lap. Everyone else is pitted, so their times are permanent. And it looks like we're definitely going to get in the top 10 because it's only Massa, Button, Bottas and Räikkönen to do their laps, and only those guys can improve. And it looks like Bottas has done that, but right now let's focus just purely on Button. Button is up, doing his personal best, 1.7 seconds down. It's actually much slower than Alonso, who I believe was 1.2 seconds. So he's not looking that great at the moment. He's starting to come around. Looks like Lewis just set a personal best sector is there, and Button now does a second best sector. So Hamilton's just improved on his last time because the track grip has climbed to its peak. We've got a lot of people signing into their Steam. Unfortunately, that's blocking our view. But here we go. Hamilton, Button. Can he improve? Alonso down into 8th. Can we see any improvements there? No, we can't see it. What did he do on that last lap? That really shocked me. He didn't go faster, so he sticks to 11th. Alonso's 8th, Perez is 9th, Hulkenberg 10th. That is a crazy kind of finish to the ending there. Kind of expecting Hamilton to come out on top. Nico Rosberg, the boys are back in town, starting to dominate. Ricciardo 3rd, Sebastian Vettel 4th, Kimi Räikkönen 5th, Max Verstappen 6th, Bottas 7th, Fernando Alonso 8th, 9th, and 10th for the Force India boys, and that rounds off the top 10. But yeah, kind of expected that to happen a little bit. Shocking result for Felipe and Massa, as well as Sainz and Kvyat all the way back down there at the moment. So let's get this race underway. What are we looking for in terms of our track? We're looking at wet conditions. So race trim 15%. We want to set intermediate tyres as kind of our practice knowledge bonus. Yes, we do. Car setup, let's make sure, yep, 98%, that's where we want to be. Intermediate tyres, 14 to 16 laps, which means we're definitely going to have to do 2 stops in this race at least. And the reason why I say that is because you can look at those laps and say, yeah, but they last 14 to 16 laps, 16 laps. That is from 100% down to 0%. So that means after they get to that 25%, we know they start to degrade really fast. The reliability and performance starts to really go a nosedive. Completely at a shocking rate. So what will happen there is that they need to pit essentially around that lap 12, lap 13 mark, and then pit again around that lap 25 mark. But you never know, it might dry out. We might have safety car interventions. We did last race, which made it very interesting. Straight from the get-go, overtake mode for both drivers. We are fighting for track position, and unfortunately that means we're going to be starting on the same sets of tyres as everyone else in the field. Or that's how I'd expect it. Let's have a quick look through intermediate tyres all the way through. Is anyone going to try anything different? No, thank God for that. And we're down to our lights now. Aggressive from the get-go. Let's see if it's going to pay off. Alonso in 8th position. Can he improve from the start? No, he gets bogged down, in fact, so much that he almost got passed around the outside. But it looks like, who was that? Räikkönen had a shocking start and held that whole grid up from that side of the inside of the field. the dirtiest side of the track. He wasn't able to get the grip down, and Button sits in that 11th spot while Alonso's now in a 6th. That's a really good start for us. It looked like we were actually going to go backwards, but we actually went forwards, if anything. And I wish we had like a Murrayism right now, a Murray Walkerism. If you guys can think of one down below, please comment it, because that's a great start for us in the wet. Räikkönen is going to come back on the attack. Ricciardo's already starting to go conservative with these tyres, and we're going to have to keep a keen eye on the degradation. Oh, looks like Räikkönen's already up into 4th position. He was able to go past both Red Bull drivers, which is surprising because Max Verstappen is actually the reigning champion. And as you know, Alonso gets 4+ in every single trait on the first lap as a modifier. So there goes his first lap. Fernando Alonso was attempting to overtake Max Verstappen as announced. Jenson Button also has +1 adaptability, +2 adaptability when he's on intermediate tyres. So that's another good thing for us. And the field's just finding themselves out at the moment. Once Alonso bridges a little bit of a gap, let's start to wind him back a little bit. His tyres are up, they're starting to melt. We want to drag them down a little bit, play a bit more of a conservative race, get the life out of these tyres. We don't know what's going to happen. We're going to have to keep a keen eye on this forecast, and that's why I love these races. When there is a bit more of a variety going on, it just makes it a little bit more interesting, a lot more strategy in play here. So we are in behind the Red Bulls, and how's the lead going? Rosberg in the lead by 0.8 seconds, leading Hamilton. Vettel down by 2 seconds, Räikkönen down by another 4 seconds, and here's our battle pack. It's now Ricciardo, Verstappen, Alonso, and we're definitely hitting our target, which is the main thing that we want to do, of getting in the top 10. We want both cars to finish in the 10th. If I was to set a target for this race, I'd want to see 8th or above for at least one car. We did it last race. I'm hoping to do it again. I want a repeat result on that. And Button now just cruising along, doing a good job, finding out his gap. He's got Magnussen behind him. Has anyone locked up their brakes just yet? That's one of the things that we want to have a look at. Because if they lock up their brakes, that means they're going to have to pit early, and they're going to be out of contention early in this race. And it looks like the temperature is going to raise through the roof. Despite it's going to be continually raining, the actual humidity on track is going to go up, up, and up. Lewis Hamilton now takes the lead into 1st position. Let's have a look as they cross the line. That's Hamilton, Rosberg, Vettel, Räikkönen, Ricciardo, Verstappen. So it is a team sandwich at the moment. The Mercedes boys lead from Ferrari down into Red Bull, and then there's us, the lone wolf at the moment. Let's have a look what the people are doing around us. They're starting to wind up their engines. We might start to do that as well. I want Alonso starting to push away. He's not being balked by Verstappen, so that's alright to start pushing as he is. And at the moment, Button's starting to get held back a little bit by the fact that Hulkenberg and Perez are just fighting each other. Despite being teammates, there doesn't happen to be any team orders in this game. And you can give your drivers team orders, and it happens quite regularly depending upon who's doing better in the championship or who's on what strategy. Lewis Hamilton takes the lead from Nico Rosberg, drops in 2nd. So there is a healthy battle for the lead right now. And those guys are completely going at it. And we need to watch those tyres a little bit better because they're starting to really eat away. And everyone else is still pushing them. But you know what? It's starting to dry out. So we want to keep pushing these tyres. And then when we're ready, we're going to have to pit and go to super softs or something along those lines. So the actual water on track is going to drop down by lap 9. So that's okay if we start to shrub these tyres up now and they get completely pushed off the mat, because at the end of the day we're going to have to pit them off anyway. So we're going to have to possibly do a 3-stop strategy depending upon how this weather goes, and that's going to be okay. It's going to have to play into our hands, and it's after that lap 8, keeping a healthy check upon what's happening in front of us. But yeah, Alonso doing a good job, kicking it out ahead. We want to keep going into high mode, pushing away. Button won't be able to make anything of these 2 cars ahead of them, but he should be able to keep that gap up with Magnussen behind if he just keeps a healthy margin backwards. And we're the only cars pushing at the moment. We're the only team pushing and making the life of those tyres stick, and that's because we know it's going to be sunny very shortly by keeping a keen eye on that look. And how are we going lap times? Let's have a closer look at those lap times as they come around this time around. And what times in Hamilton post? A 137, a 138, a 138, a 140, 139, 140. We just did a 140 ourselves, so we're a bit faster than the cars behind us, only just by a little bit, but we're slower than the cars in front. Button does a 142, which is slower than the cars in front, just by a little bit, but that's okay. So we are going to definitely get a clear track by the looks of it, and we're definitely going to have to pit. And it will be interesting to see how many people stick it out and see how long they can last on the drier surfaces with the more, you know, grippier intermediate tyre. Sergio Perez has now crashed. However, he's in front of us, so Button now goes up a spot. That's going to be good for us. It's a yellow flag, but it's not going to cause a safety car. So there's no safety car, race resumes, no issues there. And Vettel's now past Rosberg, and Hamilton's now kicking alive. He's going out by himself, virtual safety car for 40 seconds. Now, we could pit now. The thing about the virtual safety car, let me talk about that for a second. It looks like Felipe Massa has also crashed as well. He's crashed into the sandpit, and he's out, so it's called a virtual safety car. So virtual safety car, a safety car does not come out on the track. What actually happens is all the cars are restricted to about 120 kilometers, so they're significantly slowed down. It's like a sensor that goes out to all the cars, and what that means is we could pit and not lose as much time. But the problem is, if we pit now, let's say if we pitted now, let's say if we pitted for drier tires, and then we had to go for dry tires all the way down to lap 32, what would that mean? We could possibly pit Button, just to get him out of that traffic, just to get him out from behind of Hulkenberg and get him out from, who else is there, as well as Magnussen. And we might do that, depending upon what we're looking at. What tyre do we want to run on? Super softs will only get us to about, I don't know, lap 17. And then we could finish with a median. We could do that. In fact, we might do that. Yes, we are going to do that. How are we looking? What do we need to stop for? Anything? We could do a quick stop for the front wing. Pitch strategy? I might go fast. I might do a fast stop. It's only going to add a second to do the front wing. I'm happy to do that. Pitch strategy fast. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to send him out. Get him around. Get Alonso to keep pushing. And this is good for us because Alonso now, after he pushed, is going to start to conserve fuel. 10 seconds, 9 seconds. Is it going to be worth a Button going in now? Because this virtual safety car only has 8 seconds, it's just not going to be worth it. So we're better off doing one more lap and just going off with that. What is the gap between Alonso and Button? It's more than 10 seconds at least, which means we're not going to be double stacking. I am going to say... What am I going to say here? Do I want him to keep racing? How fast is it going to get dry? No, we've got to go out. We've got to stick with this strategy. We've got to cancel the pits. Oh, we can't cancel the pit. Okay, that's all right. We're gonna work with this. We're gonna see how this rolls and make it work. He's gonna drop behind a couple of cars here. Fresh tires, great stop. 5-second pit stop. He's gonna come out behind these guys. We're gonna get him to go into neutral mode. The push is out into 15th. Oh, he gets suckered up behind those other cars. Get him into overtake mode. He's going to be slow to begin with. That might have been a really bad stop for us, unless something crazy happens at the moment. Button is now dropping purely because of the car. He wants to go in for inters. It might have stuffed up his race a little bit. We might be able to fight back. Let's just, you know, keep our composure for a little bit longer. It's just going to be one lap of him going much slower than the rest of the field. I might have just cost him his race by coming in 1 second earlier. The idea was there. I wanted to cancel just before, realizing that he wasn't going to benefit much from it. But, you know, we're not going to have to double stack, which it doesn't look like we would have had to have anyway. No one pits then either, so we're still pushing on those tires. And, Button. He's going to almost get lapped by Hamilton if he has to pit, and he is going to have to pit. This is going to be really detrimental to Button's race. I didn't realize how much slower he'd be going. He has to wait more than half a lap more to get that extra benefit out. Is Hamilton going to pit now? No, he doesn't. And we need a little bit longer in order for that dry tyre to come out good. But that's not going to be good for us because Button's still circling on a very... You can just tell, even though it's just a little bit more damp, it's significantly lower. And because he's going to get balked with those blue flags, that is not going to be good news. So let's keep watching Alonso. We've got to put his engine back up into medium mode. At the moment, it looks like Button's fuel load's going to be good at least. Come out around. And everyone's going to go by him. That has completely tossed up his race. So now, I've made a bit of a blue. We won't do that again. I'm going to have to focus on Alonso right now and make sure he gets out and around in time. And it looks like finally the wetness on the track is going to start. The aquaplaning is going to start to rattle away. And cars should start pitting any second now. So Button's starting to finally go a little bit fast. He's starting to finally find his feet. It's now dry. Let's get you to go into boot mode and see if you can make anything of it. And as for you, you're going to have to pit. You're going to have to pit anyways. So let's get you to go around. Keep driving the wheels off that car in 7th position. Comfortably in 7th position. So by pitting now... We're actually going to jump a little bit over Hamilton and the rest of the gang up ahead. We're going to do a fast pit stop. Let's see if this works. We're going to fix our brakes. No, we're not going to fix our brakes just yet. I don't think we have to. Let's not worry about it. And I might just do a balance stop, actually. There's no point risking it for the biscuit just yet. Alonso's going to pit. Button's finally going to be able to make do with those tyres because the dampness on the track is gone. Let's watch his stop. He goes in the pit lane. He gets into the bay. 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 5 seconds. It's a good stop. He's going to come out where he started. And we're going to absolutely get him to go off in a bit of a men in neutral mode with the tyres. It's still damp on the track. You can still see the light spray because that little bit of dampness. Now, how's Hamilton going? He must be struggling out there at the moment. He must start to come. It must be finally coming in. Yes, they are. And how's Button? Button finally coming around into 76% on his super softs. He goes in a 16th position, 15th. Who's that in front of him? It's Grosjean. He goes by Grosjean. He makes it stick. He's absolutely putting the pedal down, and now he's pushing. And now the reality is he might be down by 0.8 of a second or 0.8 fuel load left. But the reality is, given that they're probably going to be lapped at that far back on the track, he's going to have that up his sleeve. So he's got more fuel to burn. So just keep pushing. 13th. This race isn't lost just yet. Anything can happen. A safety car could come into play any second. It is a bit of a sucker punch move for him at the moment. But at the moment, we just want to focus on Alonso and just watch Button. They're on completely two different races at the moment. Button's pace now picking up. How is he going? He's now chasing Carlos Sainz, who's in a very different strategy. Whereas Hamilton's not that far behind, so yeah, he's definitely going to get lapped at this stage. And we want to keep a careful eye on those tyre temps. We want to make sure we get the most out of the life. Jenson Button now sets a personal best time, a 1:35 in Z, which is the fastest lap of the race almost. Is there anyone else doing any faster laps? I can't see that, but he must really be on the move. He must really want to get up there. And he is going to be pushing that car as fast as he possibly can. Everyone else is on medium or soft tyres. We're on the ultra soft, so we're trying to benefit by now undercut people. Sebastian Vettel now sets the fastest first sector. So does Rosberg. So the track group is starting to come towards the drivers, and we just want to keep a close eye on the forecast. We want to keep making sure that there's nothing crazy going to happen, and we might bring both those cars into conservative mode for their tyres because they're starting to get eaten up a little bit. How's Vettel's times going? He's coming around. Vettel's now leading this race from Hamilton and Rosberg. A lot of the field are getting lapped. I don't think they're going to get around to lapping Alonso this race. It'd be pretty amazing if they did. But look at that tyres. Those tyres are heated up despite him being in a conserve mode. They're actually more hotter than Alonso's. He must be really hot under that collar. What's the gap looking at now? He's only 4 seconds. He's eating that gap away, 4.5. Let's have a look at it a little bit later. And Alonso's now competing with the top 3 teams by being in 7th. The gap down to Bottas is down to 8th, who's on a very conservative driving strategy. He might try to push his tyres out for one more stop. Or possibly no stops. Medium tyres, 20 laps. You could do it. You'd be pushing them to the nth degree, But I think going this way and hoping for that it rains or a safety car is a lot better strategy at the moment. That's going to pay dividends for us, and only time will tell. Fernando Alonso now sets his personal first best sector, so the car is starting to come to him. Even though despite he's in a driving style of conserve mode, let's get him into overtake. Let's start him to really rev up that engine. And Button in 13th, we're going to have to start to slow him down. He's got not enough fuel to get around, but he will be lapped, I believe. So that's going to bring that down as a total. And he's now doing his fastest first sector. He's got Sainz and Hulkenberg in his crosshairs. Massa just up ahead, so's Magnussen. So, you know what? Button still in this race. Fernando Alonso just setting a personal best time there. A 1:35. After Button's already done a 1:35 himself. And that seems to be the time that the leaders are doing around this track. So this clean air and our strategy of pushing right now in this part of the race with open air is paying dividends. The only thing we got to watch is Button. Button's tyre drag seems to be much higher at the moment. And he seems to have a lot less rubber left, 45%. And he's starting to really get up behind Hulkenberg. The gap was 4 seconds, it's now down to 1.5. He's really starting to put him under a lot of pressure now. Getting up behind his time. And Alonso goes faster again. He's just set a personal best sector, 1 and 2. Is he going to go much faster that time around? Blue flag for Jenson Button. Personal best time for Fernando Alonso. Here we go. Button's going to get passed by Vettel. He's going to come around. He's going to be screaming for blue flag. Can we play something that says Vettel screaming for blue flags? That'd be pretty cool. It looks like we're going to get picked up on by Rosberg and Hamilton as well. Hopefully that doesn't block us too much. It is. He's completely slowing down. It's going to be a bit of a hit for us. Hopefully that happens to Hulkenberg as well. He gets the blue flags the whole way through this little S's area. And we're able to make something of it. No, we can't jump on the train behind it, but let's get him back down into medium mode. I think he's hit his peak in terms of the track grip. Track grip isn't gone up yet. It's starting to really dwindle down, and we might start to go to backup mode for Button for his tyres. Let's get some more life out of those tyres. And as you can see, the fuel is recalibrated. He's only down by 0.64 fuel required. So he's on the tail of Hulkenberg at the moment. He still needs to pit. He needs to pit a lot earlier than the car ahead of him. Quite significantly, actually. So it's going to be interesting. We need a safety car. We need something to happen. Something big to happen here. We might have to get Alonso back into medium mode. As you can see, the tyre degradation, the temperatures are up a little bit. Now let's start to fast forward this part of the race. Get him going into a low mode. We don't want him catching and just wasting time behind him just yet. When he gets new fresh tyres, we will. But even though he's into conserve mode for both driving style and the engine, he seems to be able to keep up that distance with Hulkenberg anyway. And we just want to make sure that we're not going to get under threat from Grosjean, who's too far back anyway. He's not going to be a threat whatsoever. We want to get his tyres back up into conserve mode. Blue flags for Jenson Button, that's okay. Now let's see if he can do anything here. Let him by, and now keep behind him. Keep behind him as best as you can, and then try to get beyond Hulkenberg as he gets a blue flag. Can that happen? That would be great for us to be able to do. Alonso still setting out good quality pace. Doing a 1:36. And it's starting to get to that point where Button really needs to look to go into the pits. I was hoping it was going to rain. We could get him all the way around on medium tyres. 18 laps. That's quite a lot. I'd love to get him on super softs because we got a performance bonus being that he got practice knowledge there, but that's not going to happen. So medium tyres is what we're going to have to pick. Let's get his brakes fixed as well. We may as well, just in case, and do a fast stop, see if that's going to pay off at all. Get him into the pits. Yes, we are. We're going to pit him. We might have to pit very soon for Fernando Alonso. How's that stop going to go? Gets in the pits. It's a good tyre stop. Great stop for brakes. 7.7 seconds. So he's going to exit into 16th position. get those tyres up into cracking mode and start that chase. Everyone else is going to have to pit, so hopefully they get balked a little bit here. We've come behind Palmer, Grosjean and Kvyat, which is not what we wanted to do because he might get balked by them a little bit. We might also get lapped by the fact that Alonso is coming around, so Alonso might actually lap Button, but he has to pit himself as well. So, fighting our way back into this race. I was hoping that a safety car or more rain was going to happen, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. What is our gaps? Bottas, 15 seconds, no threat. Verstappen, 16 seconds, no threat. He's not happy with his tyres, so let's get him to come into the pits. And how many laps will he have to do? Where is first place? First place is actually going to lap us. So you know what that means? We can actually go into overtake mode, and we can pit to softs. I believe we can pit for softs. Yes, we can. 11 laps. It's going to be really tricky. I might just get him to go on the mediums. We're not going to lose or gain anything by going on to mediums. Mediums are just a really safe way. We might just fix his brake disc, because it's critical around this track, and if it starts to wear and tear, we're going to be in a bit of trouble. But mediums are going to be the safe option for us. You think if he brakes and locks them up, loses 20%, he'd be screwed for the end of the race. So this is just a safe option for us. Button now getting passed by everyone. How's this stop going to go? It is a good tyre stop, great for brakes. Vettel is going to have to pit anyway by the looks of it. Hopefully we don't get bogged down by those cars coming around. Let's get Alonso going into push mode straight away. Get him into attack mode. I just don't want him to be held up by too much by these cars lapping him. I don't want him to stop too much. Here's Button. On the tail of Palmer. Can he make the move? 4 position. Yeah, nah, he's going to struggle. He's just going to attempt to overtake. That's what I mean. These cars struggle to overtake because of the... purely because of the fact that... Who's that in front of us? That is not Bottas. That is someone else getting lapped by us. So someone's... Ericsson, Gutierrez are getting lapped twice by looks of this race. And how is Button in all this? 15th. So, okay, Button finally gets by Palmer. Sainz pits. And in 12th. It's not looking really good for Button at this stage of the race. Terrible. Terrible. But not to worry. Does that mean Bottas at 40% is going to try to go the rest of this race with 40% tyres? If he did, which he probably could do, that'd be really scary for us. Because that's track position, 37%. And he hasn't gotten past Vettel yet, so he hasn't had to slow down like we had to before. So the leaders go on the pits. Where's Hamilton? Hamilton's still out there. He's got a lot of tyre degradation left. So Hamilton's now in the lead. Bottas still got 7 laps to go. Will he be able to do it on those tyres? I hope not. I don't want him to. And that's okay for tyre deg goes all the way through the roof, because you've got plenty of tyres to do it on. Yeah, Hamilton's all the way around there, so that's alright. So Alonso... So this is going to be an interesting battle. Can we get up to Bottas in time? He's going to be slowed down a little bit here, and he's just done his fastest lap by that last lap. What did he do? He did a 135, we did 5, and we did a 135.1. We really need to get that 7th spot to make up for the fact that Button's probably going to be outside of the points. Sebastian Vettel now doing a faster sector as well. Ricciardo coming up behind Alonso. How much faster is he? Let's start to slow down these last couple of laps. How much faster is Alonso at the moment? Ricciardo's doing 132s. Holy shit, he is absolutely breaking through the Richter scale in order to do that. Let's have a look at these times. So Alonso does a 134 and Bottas does a 137. So he's 3 seconds slower, and that would have been because of that blue flag conundrum. He's just up the road from us. And we're going to have to start to go back into a more medium mode for Alonso because he won't have enough. He won't actually have enough fuel to get around. So luckily we just caught that in the nick of time. But yeah, we're trying to get this battle of Bottas. And that's another team that we definitely have to beat. Williams. 24% tyre degradation. Hopefully he has to pit. Sure, he's not going to push those tyres, those dirty old raggedy 23% all the way down for another 5 laps. Well, 4 laps, because he's been lapped. He might do it. He might try to do it. Where are these blue flags coming out of? These blue flags are really starting to slow us up. Okay, they just got by just like that, so that's good for us. Where is Bottas? So we've been lapped. Both of our cars have definitely been lapped. Where is Button? Button's definitely going to get lapped again. You know what that means? He can go into overtake mode. Given the fact that he's going to go down another lap at this stage by Hamilton, who's pitting, which means he's not going to get lapped. He might get lapped by Vettel. We're hoping he gets lapped by Vettel. That's our hope. That's what we're going to do. We're going to push for the rest of the race. What's happening here? Alonso now coming around, battling through that blue flag for who? It is Kvyat. Oh, he's going to put up a bit of a fight for us, but we finally get the corner done. And Bottas now into pit lane. Okay, this is going to be very, very instrumental for us to see where we come out. He's coming out of the pit lane just now. Is it going to be enough? Yeah, we're up the lane quite considerably from him. We're not going to be under any threat for that position, so that's going to be a 7th position for Fernando Alonso, provided that he can just keep that time. Where is Bottas? All the way back there, so it's an 11-second gap. That means that we can start to go to low fuel mode for Alonso. Well worth pushing him at the start, unless we can catch Verstappen, which isn't going to happen because he's all the way over there. So our focus now is purely on Button. Where is Vettel in relation to Button? All the way back there, but he's also got a mechanical issue. So what we're banking on here is that Vettel's going to get by Button, so then Button's fuel goes down. Because at the moment, it's not worth just coming 13th. We may as well push the car and run out of fuel trying to catch 10th. His tyres are also struggling and also has to pit. And is also getting held up by traffic. Where is 11th spot? Science, 51%. So he's the guy who we have to catch as well. Massa also has to pit. He's down to 16%. He might not pit. Alonso's starting to feel some vibrations from where? From the suspension. That's not going to be a worry. Wow. Okay, that might be more of a worry than we thought, given the fact that Bottas is now catching at a very fast rate. So this is actually chaotic at the moment. Come on, Vettel. I need you to catch up. I need you to make the dream happen here. Alonso now in a conserve mode. Where is Bottas? He's caught up. He's caught up quite significantly. He's only 4 seconds away. He's eating at our gap. He's eating at our gap convincingly at the moment. And we might not have enough fuel to get all the way around. So this is going to be hectic for us to get all the way around. So we might put us into complete attack mode because well, we don't have any worry. And we've got our little blinking light. As you can see there, so Kvyat passed Palmer while we were holding them up. And that's because his tyres are out. So let's look at this. We're going to have one more lap to cross the line on. Vettel isn't going to pass Button. Which means Hulkenberg, Massa, who are in the points, might not get by us in time in order for us to go down a lap. That's not good. It was worth... You guys kind of get my strategy here. All my focus now is going to be on Alonso. I've got to watch to see how close this is going to be at the end. Wow, he is getting at us. Bottas is really on fire at the moment. 1.19. Jenson Button's now out of fuel. Because I thought first place would have passed him. Look, first place is going to pass him. What we're going to do here is, because he's already out of the race, we're going to go park condition, and we're going to fix everything. That way we don't have to fix anything on our first day after on our first day after the next race round starts. So Alonso back on focus for us, ignoring the fact that Button's now in the pits. Bottas has some sort of an engine problem. Räikkönen's all the way around there. It is the final lap. Vettel's now crossed it. We're not going to have any dramas getting by here. Let's just put us into medium mode. Oh my god, Fernando Alonso just runs out of fuel on the back straight. Not on the back straight, on the main straight. It's not going to be enough in order to finish. That is a full cop-out to us. He literally just gets the line on us. I will never let that happen again in this series. That is a shocker. It was kind of like well worth the risk until right at the end, but we kind of had to push in order to build that gap in the first place. Button was not able to go on the pits. No, he missed the pit lane, so that didn't actually fix his car. That sucks, but that's going to be the way everyone finishes. And that's going to be our full grid for the race. That was a very unfortunate race. So Alonso getting 8th, Button 13th. We're going to be firing up for round 3. Don't worry about it, because we're going to be coming back with better engines. Our engines are just struggling at the moment. But I'm keen, I'm confident. Let's have a look at the live timings. Maybe someone might get done for an illegal component. I doubt this early into the season. But let's have a bit of a look. What was our fastest lap? We did a 134 for Alonso. The cars in front of us were doing 132s. In fact, someone did a 127. Wow. And everyone behind us, yeah, they're going a little bit slower. But that is a shocking result. Let's see the scrutineering. We've got nothing to worry about because we are a legal car. And so does no one else. So, yeah, I don't know what to say. I'm quite shocked at the fact that we got past just at the end. That's going to cost us 2 points. Hopefully that doesn't come to haunt us. The fact that Button's strategy was screwed. I overestimated the length of time for the virtual safety car, but we're going to be back for round 3, baby. Don't you worry about it. This has happened before, and we've struggled from this spot, but we've come up and we've made good with it before, so I'm not really worried about it. The championship isn't that far ahead. In fact, we're only still 35 points behind first place Vettel, and 42 points behind Jenson Button and struggling to catch. We're still coming 5th in the Constructors Championship, I should say. The main thing is we're going to get a payout of a big cash check around here somewhere, maybe not. What is the go? Give us some money, show us the money. We're gonna get $2 million, and that's gonna be our round 2. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to hit that subscribe button if you're liking the series. Give the series a thumbs up. Remember, round 5 I am gonna do a game giveaway, so if you're still unsure what the hell's going on, go back to race number 1. You should be able to see it, and guess who you think's gonna win number 5. It's been different. First race went to Ricciardo, second race went to Vettel. So far, good series. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll check you guys out shortly.